So Jayce is deciding about ending his life. He's lost the thing that his entire life's work is about, and everything that he's gathered, that he's based all of his science, all of his experiments on, has been taken away from him. And you can see his seriousness because he's left mementos that matter so much to us, which is very common when someone's deciding whether or not they want to end their life. So he took away the wristband that has that hex shard that was given to him that means so much to him, and I'm assuming a note saying goodbye to those that he loves.
Am I interrupting?
The hell's your problem? What's that? Another list with my name on it?
And I love this interaction between Viktor and Jayce, because Viktor knows what Jayce is about to do, and he doesn't go out and say, oh my God, please don't do it, life is worth living. He just asks him if he's interrupting something that's important. And right away, that catches Jayce off guard.
Actually, yes, but only because you signed your notes. Every page, I might add. A little egotistical, don't you think?
You can already see that they have this little repartee. Viktor gives him a little bit of a jab, tongue and cheek. It's kind of cute.
Is that why you came? To insult me?
No.
Even though he's not in a good place, and Viktor's still poking fun at him, but he's not being condescending. He's not talking down to him.
I was intrigued by what you said at the trial. This hex tech theory of yours.
It's not a theory. I saw with my own eyes what magic can do.
He cares about Jayce's work. He believes in it. You see Jayce turn towards and then turn back away, now towards Viktor, because there's someone else that cares about what he does. And that means so much to us. That makes us feel good. And this is something that Jayce really couldn't share with many people. And so because of that, this is an ally to him.
You've no idea how beautiful it is. And now it's gone. No one believed me.
And then you see Jayce turn back towards the overhang when he talks about how no one believes him. That makes him feel desolate once again.
Nobody's ever believed in me. Poor cripple from the Undercity. I was an outsider the moment I stepped foot in Piltover.
When we bond with someone else, we're often doing that by letting people know, I get you. You're not alone. I see you. And Viktor's doing a wonderful job of saying, you know what? I am like you. No one understood me. And by saying that, he's telling Jayce that he's not alone.
I didn't have the benefits of a patron or a name. I simply believed in myself.
Now, I think that he should have probably pulled back a little bit on the I didn't have the kind of benefits that you had. It's a little bit of one-upping that goes against forming a bond. But I think that besides that, Viktor does a really wonderful job of saying you still have to believe in yourself.
I think you're onto something.
No one thinks it can be done.
When you're going to change the world, don't ask for permission.
Oh, I love that line, okay? So when Viktor says when you're gonna change the world, don't ask for permission, that's that rebellious streak. And right away when he lets Jayce know that I believe in you, you can see his eyes lighten. That feeling of hope comes back into his eyes. And then Viktor hands him back that shard. Let's do this together. Viktor really understood what Jayce needed in order to have hope again, to be able to fulfill and complete his research. Viktor did a really great job of giving Jayce the things he needed so that he doesn't want to end his life. He gave him understanding, affirmation, hope, and belief in his project, plus the fact that he's going to be able to continue his research. Now, Jayce has an ally, and not just someone that's going to fund his research through money, but someone that believes in him and understands what he's doing. And that fuels us. Having an ally, that partner in crime, when we're about to do something that is trailblazing, is powerful and fuels all those feelings of dopamine and empowerment in people, which is exactly what Jayce needed.
This entire time I thought I needed to dampen the oscillations.
The crystals will only stabilize at high frequency. You have to...
Crank it.
Yes, you have to crank it.
Now look at the way that they vibe. When you meet someone and they just get you, they're already finishing each other's sentences. They're already understanding what the other person is saying and where they are before they even finish a thought. They start to act almost like two perfect puzzle pieces working together. It just makes you feel this sync, like you're able to flow, but you're not flowing alone. And flow is that losing time and space where you just feel so good and you get that rush of dopamine, but they're doing it together. It's a shared flow, which is so much more powerful, and very strong bonded friendships are based on it.
Proof.
Not without the crystals.
Yeah, locked away in Heimerdinger's lab.
No, no, no. Why would you risk this?
So here we have Viktor, someone from the Undercity. He's used to being dismissed. He's used to having to work for everything that he has and having no one else believe him. And so because of that, he knows that sometimes breaking the rules are necessary, because most of the things that he's had to do in the Undercity are a little bit breaking the rules. And then we have Jayce. Here we have this golden boy, this person that's had things given to him. He has people paying for his research. He's not used to people breaking the rules and especially risking their own livelihood for him. But Jayce is also an idealist and a little bit naive. And so because of that, they're both willing to risk the things that they need to in order to see this through.
Scientists seek discoveries, ways to make the world a better place. This Hextech dream of yours has the potential to do that.
When you form that really close friendship, now they also have a cause that is greater than both of them. They're aligned in that need to be able to make something greater, to be able to change the world.
Our Hextech dream.
Ours. This is our shared dream.
So far, so good.
And I think it's really wonderful that they both decide to break into the lab together. It could have been easily done by one, Viktor just giving Jayce the keys so if he gets caught, nothing's going to happen to him, or the inverse. But they both decide to do this. This is really partners in crime. They're both going to succeed or go down together.
Willing to risk exile for your endeavor.
Wait a minute,
What a surprise.
bedroom?
Please, we can prove that it works.
And when they get caught, neither of them throw the other person underneath the bus. They try to work their way around it, and Jayce very smartly uses his charm, but also that he really believes in this, and he's found the perfect ally in Mel. Someone else who's been underestimated and has something to prove to her mother as well. And so because of that, she's also willing to take the risk.
Where were you? They were asking if I could do the address.
You should come up with me. We're partners.
No, not in front of all of them.
You see how stressed Viktor is at the thought of having to make the address himself? Viktor has a lot of social anxiety. Social anxiety often comes about from different cultural changes, not being accepted, looking at being different, being teased, or just being abandoned. And Viktor's gone through all of that. And so because of it, he's not comfortable in front of a crowd. Jayce, who is the opposite, he is so comfortable. He actually expects people to like him. You can tell by his interactions with Mel that right away he assumes that if you get to know me, you will like who I am. He's had a completely different childhood experience. And when you've been kind of endowed with love and safety and security, and people have been choosing to sponsor you and be able to take care of you so naturally, that becomes your innate belief. And for Viktor, it's the opposite.
You should come up with me. We're partners.
No.
Jayce, even though he feels very comfortable in the limelight, he's not the kind of person that wants to take all of that glory for himself. He's always letting Viktor know that we are partners in this, and I don't mind sharing some of that adoration with you. But he doesn't really know that Viktor doesn't want that at all. He wants to be a part of changing the world, but he doesn't need any of those accolades or that affirmation from everyone else. he's going to leave that to Jayce.
You have your speech prepared?
He sees in Jayce something, a skill, a trait that he wishes he had. He asks him about if he's prepared the speech because that impresses him that he's able to do this and he's prepared for it and feels so comfortable doing it. When we see a trait in someone else that we wish that we had, that feeling of admiration for someone else only grows. I'll just say it. If Viktor did practice social anxiety, you can completely get over. It takes a lot of repetition and you practicing different things, but he could gain this as a skill. Now, he might not be as natural or enjoy it as much as Jayce does, but he could get past it.
Jayce?
Viktor, the doctors, they said you...
You hear that emotion in Jayce's voice. That's a really big sign that he's a super feeler. He's so emotional, he cares so much that he can't suppress those feelings and they come out with our voice cracking or we're crying. It's something that happens to me. You've probably seen that in a couple of my videos, but it's a hard thing to control and often we feel embarrassed that we're showing our side of humanity, but I love that Jayce doesn't feel that. One is he understands that it is an appropriate time, but I've never seen Jayce really mind that he feels emotional about things, and I think that that shows a lot of emotional intelligence on Jayce's part. I wish we could all do that a little more. And for Viktor, this is the moment where he realizes that he has a finite amount of time left, and we all have finite amounts of time, but for him, this is really close. This incident has really brought to the forefront how important it is to deal with his research. And now that has become the primary thing of importance in his life. He wants to be able to achieve this before his time is up. Plus, it may be able to save him.
This is a poor use of our time.
I'm a counselor now, Viktor. It's my responsibility to make sure the Hex Gates are safe and protected.
What about our pledge to improve lives for those in need, for the Undercity?
And now you can see that their cause, that alignment that they both had, is starting to fracture. With Jayce now as a councilman, he can't just decide to save lives with the technology that they're building.
They call themselves wildlife. They operate like phantoms doing hit and runs on civilians
And Viktor, especially now that he's looking at his own mortality, this saving lives is not just necessary, but he now knows he has a timeline on it. He's not going to be around that long if they don't find a solution really quickly.
Look, I'm sorry I didn't announce our other projects in my speech. Soon we can do everything.
Soon? There are people who need our help now, Jayce.
But I appreciate that Jayce apologizes right away, noticing that, you know what, he took some of the projects that Viktor and him have been working on and kind of hid them, which makes Viktor think, you know what, does he really no longer believe in the same things that I do? And when we have that close relationship, but your paths start to divert, so does that feeling of bonded closeness. And when we are faced with our own mortality, that changes us. It really makes us focus on what we feel is important to be able to do with the time that we have left.
Could be the key to augmenting physiology, extending life, curing you.
We'll solve this.
There may not be time.
Jayce says it right away. This hex tech has become personal for him, not just because they can save other people's lives, but he could help save the life of the friend that is so dear to him, the only one in the world that really understands what he's doing. For both of them, they're at the same level. They're bridging these gaps together like a team, and neither of them want to lose each other.
I can feel my body eroding.
I'll have Skye bring Heimerdinger. He might know something that could help. In the meantime, we'll do what we do best.
When you're close with someone, you share each other's emotions. There's this symbiotic relationship that happens. Right away, they share that elation of the plant growing, but then Jayce feels the same crush of when it doesn't work. But it's not just about the experiment anymore. He understands and feels the pain for Viktor that it may not be enough time to save him. And Jayce, who's, you can tell, really is a super feeler. He feels things really deeply. You're not alone. I'm not abandoning you. There's still hope.
I know the look of a doomed man. If you take this path, they will despise you.
Jayce will understand.
Perhaps.
Though they've had a few cracks in their foundation, Viktor still has belief that Jayce will get him, that's how close they are, but it does plant that seed of doubt. When people whisper in your ear little negative things about someone else, how they may be out to get you, maybe they're not as trustworthy as you think they are, that actually does cause little tiny cracks in our belief system, which then can grow. When people start planting those seeds of doubt in our mind, it's very insidious, because then we start looking at things like maybe I'm wrong, because we don't want to get hurt. And because we don't want to get hurt, we start looking at things through those facets of our fears. And where we might assume good in someone else's actions, we might now have doubt or even start to assume the worst.
What were you doing? I told you I knew someone. Well, you didn't say they were from the Undercity. What difference does that make? They're dangerous.
And now we start seeing those differences. Now that Jayce is a councilman, he has a different set of responsibilities, and it isn't first to their research. And for Viktor, especially now that in front of him is his own mortality, the research is even more prominent and important. But I think that the biggest fracture between both of them is Jayce speaking ill about people from the Undercity.
I'm from the Undercity.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Whenever we do the psychology of groups, there's the us group, the one that we're a part of, and they're always good and smart and, gonna do the right thing, and they're right. And them, they're always wrong, and they're the bad guys, and they don't get the benefit of the doubt. And right away, that's what he did. He put Viktor unknowingly into a them. And because of that, Viktor looks at Jayce as, you've now put not just where I grew up and my people that I grew up with down, but me as well. And you see that slap away? Viktor doesn't want his help to get up anymore. He doesn't want Jayce to look down on him. He doesn't want his pity.
Was your friend able to help?
No, he said nature was resistant to this sort of tampering.
All right, we'll keep at it.
And that's why Viktor changed his mind from a moment ago saying, you know what, Jayce is definitely going to be able to believe me. But now that he sees him as different, maybe Singed is right. Maybe Jayce will see me as doing something else wrong because he sees all of the people that were born where I was born as being less than. And so though they walk together as Jayce puts his hand on his back, before he gave him the benefit of the doubt, and now he's not going to, because the research is right now more important than their friendship.
Am I interrupting?
And here we have that parallel scene. And I think that Arcane does such a great job of showing different parallels. And now it's Jayce who asks if he's interrupting Viktor, understanding exactly the point where Viktor is also.
Remember the Distinguished Innovators Competition?
I remember you notching gears in the carriage over.
And now they spend this time reminiscing about the things in their friendship. Jayce is trying to give Viktor hope like Viktor had given him. And in friendship gives us feelings of self-esteem, makes us feel alignment. A healthy friendship is really good for our mental health and well-being. You have an ally, a tribes member, someone that will go to bat for you if you need it.
They started cranking the engine and the whole thing was rattling. I thought a loose cog was going to take someone's eye out.
At least you didn't throw up.
And he doesn't even bring up the fact that Viktor might have wanted to end his life right now. He lets him reminisce and talk and gives him back feelings of happiness, of remembering when they had hope, but also understanding how complex and difficult things are.
You have to destroy it.
What about your disease? Without the hex core?
In the show, everyone goes in with this ideal, this cause that they're all fighting for, yet the people that they care about supersede this. And I think that's the beauty of Arcane, that everyone is willing to put aside that thing that they want more than anything else when they find that loving, safe, caring friendship, that they're willing to sacrifice for that over the cause. And I think that that's really beautiful and shows that feeling that, you know what, the real thing that's important are people, even over ideals. And that's the thing when I deal with people that are looking at the end of their life and they look back, they're not talking about the money or how many cars they have or how many acquisitions their business made. I'd never even know how rich or famous someone was. They are talking about their family members and that they wish they could go back and spend more time with the people that they love and care about and made more memories.
We lost ourselves, lost our dream. In the pursuit of great, we failed to do good.
And that we lost our ideals in the pursuit to be great. We forgot to be good. Viktor feels like he's lost his way, that he put this need because he had this fervent desire to be able to rush, that he lost sight of the main purpose, to make sure that Heimerdinger's wisdom of make sure that you tread carefully and take your time. Sometimes we do first because we can, not because we should. And he leaves Jayce with this new common cause to try to make right the wrongs that he feels like they've done. I have to say, I really love Viktor and Jayce's friendship. I think that even though they have sometimes differing ways, that sometimes they didn't see each other, in the end, when it all came down to it, they were still there for each other. And that's the really powerful thing about friendship, is that even when the chips are down, even when you're hurt, when one of your backs is against the wall, a true friend will be there anyways, them against the world. Jayce and Viktor have to be brilliant to unlock the magic of Hextech, and while watching my videos is a great way to learn about psychology and therapy, if you want to gain an understanding of the basics of computer science, physics, quantum mechanics, game theory, and many more, you can check out today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant is the online interactive STEM learning platform with a growing catalog of courses specifically crafted to help you learn concepts by working through them yourself with visual, hands-on learning, the best way that we learn. And all the lessons are presented in bite-sized pieces so you can learn at your own pace. No pressure. And if you ever feel stuck, Brilliant has in-depth explanations to help break down the material even more. Like their algorithm neural network and machine learning courses that let you shift blocks of pseudocode around, and you receive immediate feedback and get real results. It's like solving puzzles or doing games, and the whole time you're learning how artificial intelligences really work. To get started for free, visit brilliant.org/Georgia Dow or click on the link in the description. The first 200 people get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. So just click on the button on the screen or go to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow. Clicking on that button really does help out this channel, so thank you so much. So does clicking on the playlist above for more videos. Let me know, did I miss some of your favorite Jayce and Viktor scenes? And let me know, which character in Arcane should I do next? We have Act 3, Savika, or Heimerdinger, or Heimerdinger's pet? I don't know. You let me know. I definitely also am thinking about doing adult Viktor and Vi. I've missed so many people. Let me know, and I hope you enjoyed this video.